Grazie, Nazi.
I'm white. Doesn't mean I'm a Nazi bitch.
It's Italian. It's a joke.
You call me a Nazi. I'm triggered.
In Italian, the joke is you say prego dago. Dago is an insult. Prego dago means thank you, wop. And then you say grazie.
I don't have a wet ass pussy. Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of So I Married a Geek. I am one of your fun hosts. I'm the geek in this relationship, Gavin.
I'm Phil, the up-and-coming learning how to be a geek and accept everybody.
He's like a Padawan geek.
I really am, y'all. I'm new to this world. I'm not even going to lie. I was horribly judgmental when I first met Gavin, but good God, if there's something he's taught me, it's the 95% less judgmental than I used to be. But there's still a bitch in me, and she's kind of judgmental, but I try to keep it up.
So this is a show where we invite you into our lives. We talk about things that are going on, things of our relationship, our past, how we handle things we discover. We'll probably do a couple reviews. We've done a couple movie reviews, but we're going to do some more things in the future, like Ask Us Anything, stuff like that. But
ooh, I might do music reviews of new albums.
You should. Like this week we premiered Phil's first rough cut of a song ever, like almost fully done.
Yeah, y'all, it was scary.
He was so nervous.
The vocals are definitely need to make.
But one of the things I wish you guys could see more is what happens like off of camera, because we purposely set these shows up to talk about things. But if we had like a crew of film people following us around, y'all would never stop laughing because we're like the dumbest idiots.
Yeah, and Love and Hip Hop wouldn't have shit on what we do.
We wouldn't get in the ratchet bitch fights, but
yeah, like I don't throw drinks at people, but boy, we could have some back and forth.
We do have a lot of back and forth. Like he goes, "What are you doing?" Colonizer said, "Nothing. What are you doing?" The help.
Oh, this motherfucker over here, y'all. This motherfucker over here calling me the help. You really are the colonizer. And it's funny, it started as a joke. My friends used to be like, hey, you want to go to dinner? I'd be like, let me check with the colonizer. And it was because of Destiny. It was wasn't there a gun called the Colony?
I was using the colony a lot at that point in time.
And then
he just turned it into a white joke.
Well, no, y'all saw in Black Panther when Shuri turned around and she got colonizer. I was like, that's Gavin. He's the colonizer.
Yeah, and the thing is we don't mean any harm by it. We just have fun with each other.
No, we love the fuck out of each other, y'all.
And so this week has been really hard. Like, you've seen him change clothes a bunch. I'm not, because it's harder for me to move around. It's having a fucked up foot is not fun. It's fractured. It's got tendon damage.
And y'all, it's fractured. I told him multiple times, use the walker. I didn't need the walker. Just use the walker. It's there to stabilize you. I'm fine. I don't need the walker. So then we take him back to be seen, and lo and behold, not doing what he was told ended up with him causing ligament damage. So now he's in worse shape than he was before because he never understands that the wife is always correct and knows everything, and I told him what to do and he didn't. And yes, I said wife because I don't have a problem with pronouns and changing. Call me he, call me she, call me fucker. I'll answer to all of it.
So the reasoning behind it is, one, I'm used to being the one who has to do everything around the house.
He always took care of me.
I was always the care. I took care of the house. I move things around. I keep things clean. I do everything I can around this house because he is the primary breadwinner. He makes most of the money, and my job is to try to make the house good.
And it's not fair.
But he comes from a place where they never clean house. They don't do that kind of shit. So it's been really hard. So with me being out of commission, he's been trying to step up, and it's been the cutest, funnest thing. But he struggles, and he curses, and he gets mad and upset. Today he hit his head in the refrigerator, and he got mad. So I was like, I got to get some clean. I had a box recycling, had to go out and things like that. Because for me, I would rather try to get the house clean back to where it was. But for him, it's like he doesn't understand that aspect, so he gets really upset.
Y'all,
and it's hard for me because he's like, fuck, goddamn,
y'all,
and I feel like I'm doing something wrong.
This is gonna sound dumb to people. I know this is gonna sound dumb. I don't know how to clean the way Gavin cleans. To me, there'll be times where I'm done cleaning. I'm like, hey, look what I did, and Gavin will look at it and be like, You didn't do this. You didn't do this.
No, he's made me sound like a bitch. Okay,
No,
look
it's
what I
it's
did.
not, it's not
I
that
did.
he's
Hold on. I did a load of dishes, but there's still dishes all over the place. You can't see the counter. You can't see the table. There's shit on the floor.
It's not that he's being a bitch. It's him showing me the things I don't understand because we didn't clean growing up. I didn't have friends over to my house because we didn't clean. My mother, God rest her soul, I love that woman, but she was a bit of a pack rat hoarder. When she died and we were going through her papers, she had her brother's sixth grade report card from like 1950 something. Like, my mother kept everything. So our house was always full of stuff. My little sister didn't care, so she always had friends over, but I never had friends over. So it's weird for me to always keep the house clean so that we can have guests. The other problem is I have lots of injuries I have to deal with. I was in a really bad car accident when I was 16. It damaged my ankles, it damaged my knees, it really, really damaged my low back to the point where they're talking about doing a medical procedure to just kill the nerves in my back so I can't feel pain anymore. So I'm doing my best to do all the work, and it's made me appreciate Gavin even more because if it's this hard for me to keep up with the house and all I can do is like 70% of it, him doing 100% of it must be a nightmare. And being the breadwinner should not be an excuse not to help. And it's something I've learned over the last few weeks taking care of him. And it's something that I'm saying it on camera, and I'm doing my best to commit to it and promise, baby, to help you with this more so that it's not your job to do all of this stuff.
Well, I've got things that make it easier. Like I got a robot mop and vacuum, so they keep the
Which
floors
freaked the
pretty well
dog
done.
out.
But right now I can't run it because there's a lot of stuff on the floor that we got to pick up because that really jacks up the vacuum cleaner. The mop doesn't. I mean, the mop's great. It knows when there's carpets not to go there. Like it does a really good job. But I haven't run that in a while, and it's like we had gnats in the trash can because the trash wasn't taken out. We had rotten vegetables on the back counter that I don't know how long they'd been there, but they were pretty much liquid potatoes that are liquid. You know, there's something wrong.
We bought a bag of potatoes right before I fell and broke my finger, which was right before you fell and broke your ankle.
Yeah.
So
It's just me trying to because I feel bad like I'm forcing him to do something that he's not comfortable with.
No, baby, you're not for it.
And like
it's weird to do it, and it's painful to do it.
and it's hard. It's so hard because yeah, I would like to be able to see the counters, and it's like why don't you just pick up as you go? That's not something you've ever learned to do.
No, because
And we
I can cook like a motherfucker. I can make a meal that will make your taste buds sing. But I use a spice, I put it down. I use a spice, I put it down. I grab
half
an
the spices
ingredient,
are
I
on
put
the
it down.
floor, like
They're not
literally
on the
salt. No,
floor.
there's salt and garlic on the floor.
But I just
on the
forget to
counters.
put them back in the spice rack. And he was so sweet. He even bought a spice rack organizer so that all my spices were exactly where they needed to be in an order. And the order lasted for about 24 seconds.
I mean, it's because there's a lot of spices, and we have a little spice cabinet. So I bought the little tiered system that goes around the outside just to give him some more space so he can find things. And
Ooh, I need to make curry pumpkin soup.
oh, see, we're talking about cooking again.
Mm.
And so that's why I've been pushing myself so hard because there'll be like times where I know it's okay, but like it's hard for me to get up off the couch right now because this boot is just not fun, and putting any sort of weight on this isn't fun. And like there was a while he was having to take a shower, and he would just like look like he was exhausted doing that. I was like, I'll just go do it myself.
And I kept telling you I didn't want you alone in the shower because if you fell, it would get worse.
Yeah, but when you go in there, like,
I'm not sighing at you,
but
baby.
that's what
I'm
that's
exhausted.
I know, but that doesn't help when you're trying to rely on someone to help you.
So one of the things that we have found as a couple, and I hope this is something other couples take away, that they talk about the love languages. Gavin is an extremely literal communicator.
Very literal.
He needs me to be like, we had a fight about him mocking one of my tattoos because I did not literally tell him this tattoo is sacred, do not mock it. That's how literal he is. And I forget that. So when I go in the bathroom and I sigh, he takes it as a sigh at him. It's just me sighing because I'm in pain. You guys, I love going to concerts. Concerts make me happier than just about anything. But with my back damage, I can stand on my feet for about 5 minutes. And then the pain becomes so excruciating, I can't stand anymore. It hurts to walk. It starts to hurt to breathe because it throws my ribs out of alignment. And it's like, have a rib head popping out, poking into my lungs. Like, But my sighing isn't at him. It's just he's so literal, he takes it that way. I'm just sighing to try to cope with the pain. And I need to be better about that and let him know I'm not sighing at you. Because I wouldn't be in there watching him making sure he didn't fall if it wasn't because he's the love of my life and I don't want him to get hurt again.
And I
That's
and
what it
I think
is.
about and I understand that, but then it's like you dropping half the shit in the kitchen. You hit your head in the refrigerator today. It's like, are you
I'm
just
clumsy as fuck.
not able to handle keeping the house up? Because I'm like, if we put so much time and effort and money into this house, we need to make it look like our house. So I've done a really good job with everything. I keep moving shit around and freaking you out, and I do
I'm
want to get
just
some new
clumsy.
furniture soon.
I bump into shit.
But
I'm
man, it makes me feel so bad. That's why I've been pushing myself. It makes me feel so bad because it's like I'm not making that much of a mess. It's very isolated. It's just trying to get things ready to go because we got Thanksgiving coming up. We have people coming over on Halloween night. It's just like
I will say there are days where I don't make messes because I don't eat, but then you get mad at me because I'm not eating.
because you should be eating. I understand. You're like, oh, I'm just gonna
I don't get
whatever.
hungry like that sometimes, but you insist that I eat, and then my stupid ass makes a mess that I don't clean up.
My favorite is when I wake up in the morning and there's like 3 ramen packages, one on the floor, half the noodles are on the counter because he only uses so many noodles. There's one seasoned packing like over there, one on top of the stove, one over by the sink. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Creative geniuses in the kitchen just make messes. I can't help it.
So that's been the struggle this week. And the pain is a real thing. We tried to go to a concert. We only make it halfway through.
And I mean, but it was a struggle week. Thursday, we had to say goodbye to Jordan,
Yeah, we had to go to Jordan's wake.
which was, she was so beautiful, and I talked to her a few times before we said goodbye. Yesterday was 5 years since my mother died, and it's just hard to feel like there's this guilty feeling. It's like I've moved on with my life. I have a life now. I do things. And there's a part of you that says you can't. You can't forget your mother. You can't have a life without
No one's
her.
telling you don't forget people, but life goes on. That's one thing they kept telling you. Life goes on.
My mother would be telling me, "Bitch, I'm dead. Go do your shit and have fun and enjoy yourself." But my brain fights with me about it. But I'm practicing. I'm getting better. But it was a hard week. But man, let me tell you, the thrill of finishing that song last night, it's not done, but the fact that I got a demo version of it finished makes me feel like, oh shit, I actually am a musician again.
And I got him probably the coolest Christmas ornament ever this week.
It was a pretty badass Christmas
Jason
ornament.
Voorhees. They make horror Christmas ornaments. Hallmark does. You got to go to Amazon to find them. So it's a little Jason Voorhees with his knife to go with the other Christmas ornaments. I went a little overboard on Christmas ornaments because I haven't done that forever, and it just felt so good to do it because I used to do it every year. So we've got a bunch of fun Christmas ornaments this year to add to the tree, which is here's what's also frightening me. He's going to have to help me with the Christmas tree this year.
Oh god.
Now, normally, top to bottom, it takes me 4 hours, but it's pre-lit, so that cuts half the time out.
And it's gonna have Darth Vader.
It's going to have Darth Vader on top of this instead of Yoda, which is over there. And
what does Darth Vader have to do with Christmas?
so I don't know if you guys are ready for my Christmas tree. I don't think he was ready for my Christmas tree.
No, I wasn't the first time I saw
It
it.
spins.
You're lucky that we have gigantic ceiling.
I bought
high
another
ceilings.
Christmas tree because the ceilings here are so big. So I bought a bigger Christmas tree. So I've got 2 Christmas trees technically. And I bought a bigger one for the higher ceiling here. Because my dream is to have a giant enough ceiling to have a 12-foot Christmas tree. That is my dream. I want a 12-foot fucking Christmas tree.
These are 12 feet?
No, they're not. They're 11.
Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd. You can only have an 11-foot
And
Christmas
with the tree topper, it almost scrapes the top. And I bought a LED light that puts projection snowflakes, so we'll have snowflakes on the ceiling the whole time. And I was going to 3D print some snowflakes to put around the tree hanging, but I've already got a bunch of 3D snowflakes that I have a ton of. And I got new snowflake lights for the garland around the window, and new garland lights for there.
Do they look like the snowflakes on YouTube?
Which snowflakes? the special ones,
All the little unique snowflakes.
which we need to do an episode about that because he and I disagree about some things, and we learned a couple things this week about pronouns
Yes.
and dysphoria issues.
Yes.
That it's just like this. There's a girl trying to say she was a clown gender this week, and I just don't think that's a thing.
But as I was informed, it's a condition in her mind. It's how she feels, and you have to validate that and accept it and be supportive because you really don't know what she's going through. We are fortunate enough that our gender matches our biological sex, and
I get all of this, 100% support, but
we could talk more about it.
yeah, there's a whole other thing to talk about it. There's a certain point in time in which you have to be like, okay, let's evaluate this a little deeper because you don't just make up a gender. And I think making up clown gender is doing something completely different. There's probably other issues there, but that's a whole other episode. Yeah,
You're
so
gonna get us canceled.
he's always worried about us getting canceled, and I'm afraid to talk about things sometimes because I lost it one time on Super Gamer Bros. I'm just tired of the I respect you and understand you and I support you. But there are realities that we all have to face as a people, and that if you're not having conversations, which is one of the things like what we do is we have conversations with guys about our life, and so you can talk about it. Conversations just living with us, like why I push myself and how we talk differently. Then nothing's ever going to get better. I like the relationship we have. This is actually probably the healthiest relationship I've ever had.
What do you
Ever.
mean, probably?
Well, because it's not done yet. He's like, wait, what? What? You've got like one hair right there. Like it's just like sticking out.
Now I have to go shave it before we do another episode.
And it's like split. Like it's a split. Like it's just weird.
Ugh.
Just go look at it. I thought it was an eyelash.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. He
'Cause,
misbehaves every
like,
month.
okay, I will get these random ass fucking long. Just I'll wake up in the morning. There'll be a long eyebrow hair, just like fucking there.
Girl, you get them crazy. Like
If I'm not thinking about it,
need a pair of scissors to trim your shit.
but
down.
it's not like a even thing. It's like 1 or 5. Like it's not that like. And he gets hair in random fucking places, like right there.
I have what they call a proceeding hairline. So when I go get my hair cut, they shave on my forehead right here because they're like, your hair shouldn't be growing this far forward close to your eyebrows. You know what? That's what that shit does. Leave it alone. It's happy.
So yeah, that's things we can do on camera for you guys. We got random hair there. I probably have an eyebrow out of place somewhere because I don't have very many eyebrows. Like I'm jealous of people who have good eyebrows. I've got very thin eyebrows.
I have caterpillars.
You're close to having a unibrow though.
Bitch, don't you be talking about my unibrow like that.
You will not have a unibrow as long as we're together. Yeah. I may allow you to run with a fedora from time to time when you find it, but I will not let you outside with a unibrow.
That fedora is a bad motherfucker. Y'all, if y'all saw the fedora episode, please let him know the fedora looked good. I'm tired of him talking shit about it. The fedora is the shit.
Y'all's be full of shit. Y'all's all be full of shit.
But as always, like, enjoy, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, check out my SoundCloud, comment, ask us questions. We love interacting with you guys. You can
tell Phil's a musician because he shouts out a SoundCloud every episode.
Well, because y'all, music is my everything. It's what makes me happy.
What am I, chopped beef over here? Like,
no, you're chicken livers.
This motherfucker bought chicken livers, by the way.